All right, everybody. So, welcome. This is Square Business Fitness slash Life and Business. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be what is it? Uh, podcast number one, and it's gonna be the title for this podcast is gonna be Physical World, Spiritual World. Now, this is a little bit different. This isn't really gonna have, nothing to do with working out. But remember when I first did my introduction, I said that Square Business Fitness was not only gonna be about working out, but I also wanted to touch on a few other things as far as the divine and the collective and something like that. So if you're into that, we'll keep watching. If not, well, just watch me for my workout information. But so this is just food for thought. Anything I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying that I know it is the truth or that it is a fact. I'm just I'm just talking about, things that I think about. This is what goes through my mind, and I want to see what other people think of it. If you think I'm full of shit, if you think that I completely don't make any sense, then let me know. But let me hear your side of the story. So physical world, spiritual world. Um, so I guess before I start off, I want to talk about my journey spiritually. So as I said before, in the past I did go to prison. That is when my life changed dramatically from one day to another, because I knew what I was doing, but I was making wrong decisions at that time that got me in the situation of going to prison. um I went to prison for aggravated robbery. Maybe somewhere down the line I'll discuss more about that, but that's what I went to prison for aggravated robbery. And when I was in prison, I mean, out here in the world I really wasn't thinking too much about God or anything like that. I've always grown up to be a believer. My family, my mom and dad were real firm Catholics, just as your typical Mexican family is. My parents were both from Mexico, so they came with those strong Catholic roots, which I did my communion, I did my confirmation, I think, through the church. But as I got older, I always started to question things like, well, how do we know that the Catholics have it right. That their beliefs are right. You know. Um. So actually, when I got locked up, that's where I actually had, I guess, the time. Because I started to question my life. Okay, I'm in prison. I'm 17 years old. I'm facing aggravated charges, anywhere from 5 to 99 years. I ended up getting 10. I did 7 on that. Came out on parole for 3. But during my time in prison, um, other times in prison, I did my time kind of, like your typical inmate, you know. But when I picked up this aggravated robbery, I guess the amount of time that I had on my hands, um, a real good celly of mine, when I was there, he told me, like, I remember one day what we were doing, I think we were working out, and he tells me, okay, you worked out your body, but how have you worked out your mind? How have you worked out your spirit? And nobody had ever told me that before. Nobody, at this time I'm 17 years old, probably going about 18 already in the county. I was in the county for 2 years. And he told me that, and it struck me because I never had anybody tell me that. So when he told me that, I really started to think, he's right. So he started like telling me, hey, use your time wisely in here. You're young. Don't go to prison. Go there and crash out and get into trouble. But use your time to educate yourself. Don't let this time just go to waste. Read books, write books, and I have to give him credit for really opening my mind to like that side of, like, everybody thinks go to prison and a lot of fighting and a lot of, bad things. Well, I'm not gonna say that doesn't happen in there, because it does, but you do your time. And I went through some times in there like any other, fights and stuff like that. But um, I, when I wasn't out there in the day room doing typical inmate things that I'm not gonna discuss about, um, I would be in my cell reading books, and not just novels, but psychology books, history books, um, a lot of religious books. I wanted to know, okay, well, how do we know that Islam doesn't have, is that the way? How do we know that they're not wrong? How do we know that Protestants or Mormons or Catholics, how do we know, like, who has it right? Who knows the actual true way to God? They all claim to have, this way is the right way and your way is wrong. So that's when I was there in the county and I was like, you know what, since I have this time, let me read this Bible. Let me see their perspective. You know what I'm saying? Which I did. I read the Bible. I studied the Bible. I did so many Bible studies, um, and I used to even do like Bible studies there in the day room in the county. I used to preach sermons because at one time I believed that yes, this is the way. Christianity is the way. You know, I would ask God, show me your way. Show me that this is the right way so that I could serve you. You know, and I did that for a long time. Well, out of the 2 years in the county, I did that. I don't know, maybe like a year, but I would just consistently just read a lot of books. And I'm gonna look back. I can't remember like some of the book titles, but there is some good ones that I really want to get back and maybe even read again. Even they do come from a Christian perspective, but they have some really good points, like of the spirit and the flesh, the battle between the spirit and flesh, which I believe that, in general, not just Christianity, but many other beliefs believe the same thing, that there is a battle between your flesh, your desires, and the spirit, which is trying to lead you to a more divine way of living. Not instant gratification, but putting others first and serving others instead of serving yourself, serving the ego. So, that's one thing that also in my journey when I started reading the Bible, then, but the more that I would read the Bible, the more questions I started to get. You know, so then that's what led me, okay, well, let me read other. That's one thing I've never been scared, even when I was like a firm believer in Christianity. I was never scared to go out of the box and still read like the Quran. And that's what I did. I read the Quran as well. They have a lot of good points, and the Torah. And if you anybody that's read all of these, they all have their similarities, a lot of similar points, just with a, maybe you could say, a different perspective. Sorry, I got my cat over here getting in the way. He wanted to say hi to y'all, but his camera shy. So they all have their they all have their. You're making me lose my train of thought. Okay, sorry. um, so they all have the same thing, like I was saying, between the physical world and the spiritual world. And I would always read in the Bible where it talks about like the rituals that the high priest used to have to do in the holiest, to enter the holiest of holies in the tabernacle, and how they would have to like cleanse themselves, and like incense that they would burn. And then if you go back and you read Revelations, it talks about the incense, the seals that are broken, and stuff like that. Was what made me think, okay, this is an analogy, but what if it's giving you a perspective of what happens in the spiritual realm? Here in the physical realm, we could light an incense, light a candle, and that we say, like a prayer. We do our a part on this side, on the 3D side, on the physical realm, and then, but in the spiritual realm, that realm that we cannot see, something happens because we lit this candle. Like, that's what I used to think. Like, I remember reading a book, or was it in the Bible? I can't remember. It's not. I don't think it's in the Bible, but it's a reference of, so when you pray, you strengthen the angels to be able to fight. You
Straighten the angels.
When you pray, you strengthen the angels to fight for its spiritual battle, and the battle that you cannot see, because there's a battle between good and evil in a spiritual realm, right? That's one perspective of Christianity. So that's why, and if you read in other texts, it kind of gives you the same perspective, where everything that we do in the physical realm has an effect in the spiritual realm. And that goes back to consciousness, because if we all as a collective raise the vibrations of ourselves, then we raise the vibrations of a collective and of the planet. So that's what I'm saying. Everything that you do in the physical realm, if you meditate, then it has an effect in the astral realm as well. You know, or same thing. Let's say they use sage. Why do people sage? Why do people burn it as incense? Why? Because it's supposed to cleanse energy. It's doing something in the physical realm. You see the smoke, you smudge, but in the physical realm, it's clearing energy that we cannot see. So the whole point of this is to say that everything that you do in the physical realm has an effect in the spiritual realm. You know, if you're constantly thinking negative thoughts in your head, then you're gonna cause negative thoughts to appear around you as well. So now everything that you do, once again, in the physical realm has an effect in the spiritual realm. Because why? Now you're radiating these vibrations of bad energy,
Negativity.
of negativity, and that's all that is now drawn to you. That what is the law of attraction, right? So
The laws of the universe are
the
important.
laws of the universe are very important. We'll talk about them in another video because that's a whole other like topic right there. But just the one thing today, food for thought. Think about it. Like I said, don't take these for facts. Go and do your own research. Or what are your perspectives on these things? That everything that you do in the physical realm will have an effect in the spiritual realm. And look at different texts that speak about that as well. I believe that there are more than just physical and spiritual. There's all other forms of realms, and just like we are living in this 3D dimension as human beings, then in the other realms, maybe in the 4D to 5D, you know what I'm saying? That there are other beings as well, and we cannot see them because we are like dimension is lower than theirs. They're transcending a higher energy, a higher vibration that allows them to be in that state of the dimensions of
Existence.
the existence. You know, there are different states of existence. You know, there's levels
Like
to this shit. You know
planes.
what I'm saying? So that's just food for thought. I just want to, this is what Juan thinks about. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it as facts. Go do your own research. I just wanted to see
On
what's
the
y'all's
other.
perspective on it. You know. So let me know down in the comments if you like this or what else y'all want to talk about or what y'all want to see me do. Let me know. Everybody, peace out.